The loud buzzing of my alarm clock startles me awake. I fight every urge to just roll over and go back to sleep because I'm usually off work on Saturdays, but I said I would pick up some hours at work, so it's time to get up. I begin my morning the same way I have for the past few years. A cup of tea with milk and 3 sugars, and toast with plenty of butter. It's one of the few things I look forward to in the morning. A comfort of sorts. I usually keep the TV on in the morning, keeping the news on to get the weather, be reminded to wash my hands and wear a mask, and to see if traffic sucks. I take the bus to work anyway, but it helps to be clued in on whether or not I'm going to be late. Although this morning I can't get any signal on my TV, so I get ready for work in silence. My mornings are simple. I live alone in a 1-bedroom flat and have no pets. I don't have to worry about someone using up all of the hot water before me or someone hogging the bathroom all morning. It's simple. It's peaceful. It's honestly quite lonely. Grabbing my message bag and fixing my tie, I head outside to go and catch the bus to work. It's honestly not very far to walk, but I'd rather just get the bus. Although, the bus stop is usually busier than this. Maybe it's because it's Saturday. I'm never up at this time on my days off, so maybe it's never busy. It's only me and 2 other people. People I commonly see on my usual work days. An older woman sitting with her walking stick and a face like a bulldog eating a wasp. Also a younger man who is always blasting music on his headphones and wears business attire like me. Shirt and tie with a jacket usually. They're hard to get conversation out of, which is understandable, I suppose. I can get the occasional head nod and an all right out of the woman, but the man is unreachable. He just stares at his phone. He doesn't even thank the bus driver. Nope. Today, it seems, is different. Any word on this bus? The old woman complained loudly just as I sat down on the bus stop bench. Is it running today? She turns to me, actually instigating a conversation. I think so. I replied, looking at my watch. It should be here by now. We're now just looking up and down the street for a missing bus. I don't see one. What I do notice is the street itself. It's quiet. Eerily so. Again, either it's just Saturday mornings or no one woke up this morning. The street is a 2-way road with both sides lined with terraced houses, a few blocks of flats, and some shop fronts. It's usually busy, even this early in the morning. As well as it being a warm spring morning, people should be out and about. It's starting to unnerve me. No sounds of cars, no kids out playing, no people shouting something about wheelie bins. I swear that's like every morning. Nothing. Fuck socket. The man finally spoke. He removes his headphones and turns his phone screen showing the bus timetable page toward me and the old woman. All the buses are canceled today. They're not running at all. Something about all the bus drivers being sick. I'm not too upset about this, what with work only being about a half an hour walk away. But this news was devastating to the old woman. She stands up, gripping her stick all the might of a scorned pensioner. Fucking useless bastards. She growls. Nothing ever works properly these days. She begins to walk into the warm morning haze, muttering and swearing under her breath. The man begins rapidly searching his phone, maybe to find more information on the bus situation or more likely to contact someone who can give him a lift. He pauses and looks at me. Do you work far from here? No, not really. It's just a bit of a walk. I'll probably start heading on now. I answered, standing up and putting my message bag back over my shoulder. The man looks defeated. He angrily shoved his phone in his pocket and lets out an exasperated sigh. He looks at me with tired eyes. I'm supposed to be off today, but everyone at work is bloody sick. That new flu or bug or whatever the fuck. Look at that. Similar circumstances. Same, mate. I have to go in and make sure shite gets photocopied. That's it. Waste of my Saturday, honestly. I chuckled. Yeah, man. I have to finish a couple of people's reports that didn't get done this week. I swear I just landed with everyone's work. He puts his headphones back over his head and starts walking up the street. We exchange a wave and go our separate ways. I guess he isn't too much of a knob after all. Well, he still doesn't thank the bus driver. On my way to work, I noticed that streets are all the same vibe. No people, but now there seems to be signs of life. Tipped over bins, cars not exactly parked, but more abandoned in the street. There's the occasional other commuter that you pass by with a quiet, hey, yeah, but rarely get a response. At this point, the morning was starting to warm up. With the weather in this country being 99% pissing rain and freezing cold, I don't like to complain about the heat when we get it. That being said, I was starting to sweat a bit and decided to dip into a nearby newsagent's. Business as usual here. It's an old corner shop that hasn't updated anything since the 80s and maybe earlier. There's still a faded sign on the wall that advertises the new drink called Lilt. I'm pretty sure that was a 70s thing. Same old guy at the counter, sitting there reading a fishing magazine and occasionally doing a singular loud cough. He's usually reading that morning's paper, but there doesn't seem to be any on the shelf. I guess the paper delivery guys are sick too. My mission here is simple. Drinks. Something cold. Something refreshing. I've been sweating more than I realized. I walk up the aisle and past the large selection of 30p energy drinks and knockoff brands. Why have a can of Monster when you could have Beast Energy? I grab a bottle of water, and on the way back towards the counter, I grab a Kinder Bueno for later. Treat yourself. I stand at the till for about 30 seconds before the cashier puts down his newspaper and gets out of his chair. I can hear his knees cracking above the sound of his wireless radio, which sounds like the news. I try to listen just in case there's anything about why outside is like an episode of The Twilight Zone, but the cashier's coughing drowns it out. Just them, He asks wearily. I confirm and get my wallet out of my pocket. £4, there, mate. He says while thumping the till to open the drawer. No scanning necessary. Old school. I pay for my things and turn towards the door. Just as I'm leaving the shop, the sound of the door buzzer is immediately canceled out by a swarm of police cars and riot vans speeding past with their sirens blaring. Not an uncommon sight around here, but they had army trucks too. Maybe something IS happening this morning. Or maybe it's a coincidence. As I step away from the shop, one half of my Kinder Bueno bar is immediately consumed. It was never for later. As 8 o'clock rolls up, I enter the office building. I've been working here for nearly 3 years, and I still don't 100% know what we do here. I usually just sit in my cubicle, and people send me Excel pages with numbers on them, and all I have to do is add all the numbers together and send them back. I have no idea what these numbers mean, but somehow I still made Employee of the Month on a few occasions. My job today is simple. Photocopy some of those Excel pages, hand them off to Derek. There's quite a lot of people off sick today, so I'll need to do a bunch of photocopying. I hate that we can't just email this stuff, but the boss says we need hard copies of everything. The boss is a cretinous piece of shit called Leslie. He acts like our office is his own Wolf of Wall Street simulator, and he's absolutely insufferable. He only talks about himself and all of his weekend escapades like golfing and his new BMW. Sure, Leslie, Kathy in the cubicle next to me works 2 jobs and still has to use a food bank to feed her kids, and most of the work computers still use CRT monitors, but you do you, king. The office is damn near silent aside from the occasional unanswered phone ringing in the background. I sit down at my cubicle and gather the pages I need. I print off a few more pages and get them stapled. At this rate, I'll be home in no time. On my way to the photocopying room, I can hear a murmur of people and the clanging of spoons on teacups in the break room. I poked my head into the break room to see who was in today. Sitting around the table was Samantha, Kathy, Lewis, Megan, and Ben. No Derek. Shit. Well, I guess I'll just leave everything on his desk when I'm finished. Derek is the one who sends the folders somewhere. Again, I have no idea what we do here at Robinson Ltd. Oh, morning, Andrew. Kathy's greeting was always nice. Like I mentioned before, she works 2 jobs and has a couple of kids that she raises alone. Although I'm sure she's always tired and having a rough time, she's always chipper, friendly, and eager to brighten your day. When I started this job, she was the person who helped me get settled and was always there to help me when I needed it. I didn't realize you were in this morning. She continued. Yeah, just some photocopying to do, and I can call it a day. I answered. Samantha lifted her head from the table and exhaled a lung full of vape cloud. Nice for some. She snapped. I got phone last night while I was in the pub. I'm fucking dying this morning, and I won't be home till 4 o'clock. Her eyes were bloodshot, her blonde hair a mess, and cradling a cup of coffee like her life depended on it. Samantha was pretty young, probably around 21 or 22, out nearly every night of the week. Don't know how she affords it. Despite her small stature, she's known to throw hands with everyone from other pub patrons to the 6-foot-tall ex-army bouncers outside. Megan looked up from her phone and asked the group, "Can anyone get signal? I can't even get 5G. Sure enough, no one had signal. The Wi-Fi wasn't even working. Odd. I guess YouTube videos are off of today's entertainment. I'm just printing stuff off today anyway, so I'm not too bothered. Megan and Samantha, however, were standing on the break room chairs next to the window, trying in vain to get signal. Lewis and Ben were two younger guys, a bit older than Samantha and Megan, probably late 20s, closer to my age, which was nice because we talked about video games and movies sometimes. They were already on their way to the TV that sat in the corner of the break room. As the TV came on, the atmosphere completely changed. Everyone grew silent at what we were seeing on the TV. We couldn't believe it.